Welcome to this 100 Club webinar.
Good afternoon. Welcome to our racing webinar. We're going to have a look at a few different things today. We're going to try analysing a race before it starts and maybe making some trades based on that analysis and see if that works out any better than just trading what we see and, making decisions as the race unfolds. It's going to have to be pretty impressive to get me to change strategies from what I've been doing, because I've spent a couple of decades trying to do form and work out what's going to happen in a race and how I think it will pan out and what this horse will do and what that horse will do. And personally, I find it a complete waste of time. None of it pans out. You can get a horse that you think's going to lead and then it misses the start by 4 lengths. And then you think you've got one that's going to travel at the back and then it decides to lead. And then you see all this money dumped on a favourite. And as they come round the turn, it's the first one beaten. And I just find it 1,000 times easier to just open a race, watch what happens, and see how it unfolds. But let's go and have a look at this one, because it is the 2 o'clock at Wexford. So we're going to analyse this, see what we think happens, make some bets on it, and then see how it pans out. All right. So this is the 2 o'clock at Wexford. It's a race for horses age 4 or older, rated between 80 and 95. All right. So the top weight is not less than 12 stone and the minimum weight is 9 stone 12. So the weight for age advantage is for 4-year-olds receiving £3 from runners age 5 or over. Now, weight is an important factor in racing, but I've just noticed something on the screen. I'd be very keen to lay number 8 at Newton Abbott. I haven't even looked at the prices or anything, but I'm going to go and have a quick look now, because it is not happy. It is sweating absolute buckets, and it's probably 1,000 to 1. Let's have a look. Number 8. It is talking about you. Yeah, it's 36 to 1. Forget about it. We can't trade that one, but it won't be winning. Right. So that's weight can stop a train. So if you put too much weight on a horse, you'll be able to stop it. So there's a bit of an advantage here for 4-year-olds getting £3 from runners 5 or over. So the shape of the race, Rudy Cottrell can be expected to lead in the early stages. The 9-year-old has in-race comments of soon led, attempted to make all, and led and soon 15 lengths clear. But you think that the back to layers have already factored that in. So it's going to start off shorter than its true price because they assume it's going to lead and they've already started backing it now. So that was his last 3 races, all taking place since racing resumed in June. The gelding has faded in those contests, but has hung on for a place in his last couple over the larger fences, and he reverts to hurdles here. So races at Wexford over 3 miles have a slight advantage for those racing from the front or prominently from the start. So Spanish Leather ran well for a long way over similar trip at Limerick last month, but appeared one paced between the second last and final flight. And he finished 3rd of the 14, 16 lengths adrift of the evergreen The Trigger, who was once again in the winner's enclosure at the Galway Festival last week. So it looks like In Your Shadow is now scratched. He's a non-runner. And Lighthouse Rose is also a non-runner. So that leaves you with Winter Bell. Walk Me Home, 10 to 1 in the colours of JP McManus, will likely race towards the rear. So maybe that's something we can look at laying if there's going to be an advantage for those travelling at the front. We can have a look at that in the early exchanges anyway, together with the Paul Nolan trained Watango, who was produced too late in a couple of starts since racing returned following a layoff of 3 years. So the last 10 winners, okay, so 27 win and place positions. Okay, so that means that officially rated 84 to 95. Either won or was placed in 24 or 27, running within 60 days, 25 of 27, and no more than 2 handicap hurdle wins. So if you've got a horse here that's got more than 2 handicap hurdle wins, history says they won't be winning this, probably got too much weight. 9 of the last 10 winners were Irish bred, which makes sense since it's at Wexford, and I can't imagine that too many trainers or breeders from outside of Ireland would be sending a runner to Wexford on a wet Wednesday afternoon. Aged between 5 and 9, 25 of them out of 27, so maybe we can rule out anyone that's 4 or less or above 9, and no more than 11 pounds lighter than the top weight. So the short list, there was quite a few here, but now there's only 4. Spanish Leather, Lady of the Sea, Winter Belle, Watango. So Rudy Cottrell is likely to set a good early pace and has done in his last 3 starts. So for me, reading this analysis, if Rudy Cottrell is not in the short list of winners and it's going to lead, it looks to me like we should let it lead, the price drop, and then we should lay it. He's likely to set a good early pace as he's done in his last 3 and could well stay on for a place due to his initial speed, having a few of these in trouble some way out. The early pace will give a good pull into the race for Spanish Leather, who ran well on its most recent starts. Lady of the Sea and Watango wouldn't want to get too far behind, leaving their forward move too late. Okay, so let's go and open up the race and see what we've got here. So we'll go and get Bet Trade up and we'll open up the 2 o'clock race. So I see that the race at Newton Abbot has finished, and as expected, number 8 didn't win. The favourite won pretty easily. So this favourite here is probably shortened considerably considering the late scratchings. You've got 6 of the field out, and it's only leaving 8 in there. So if we lose one more, that's half the field have gone. Let's have a look at what prices we've got. So Watango's 4 to 1, Cousin Pascal, Spanish Leather. So if the analysis is right, we can probably assume that Spanish Leather might get backed. So we've got 7 minutes to this one. So we'll go and see if Spanish Leather is going to get backed. Let's go and have a little crack at it. We'll go and put it in at 11.5. But I think my strategy in this race will probably be see this Rudy Cottrell lead and then maybe lay it down here a bit. I'm not sure. What's your strategy for the race, Tony? You've done the analysis. What's your plan for betting on this one? So it sounds like this one might lead and give a nice pull into the race for Watango and Spanish Leather. Now, also, we might look at laying this Cousin Pascal. Not really been mentioned. Let's go and have a look. I'm hearing that the weather in Wexford, well, it's not raining there now. The pictures are crystal clear on my screen. So we'll go and see what we've got, see what we're dealing with over here. Horse racing. Let's go to Wexford and we can have a look at what we're looking at here. So they're just showing the previous races at the moment. But I'm hearing that the Wexford in-running pitches have been pretty bad with the rain. Now, I'm trading off Racing UK, so that won't really bother me too much. But if that's the case, we can still have a look at what I was going to show you about trading without pitches. Now, I don't recommend it, and it's not ideal. However, you can do it if need be. We've got the ladder here to look at, and you can see when the in-running traders tend to stop backing one. Let me fix that. Okay, how's that sound now? That's good.
In the main
Okay.
testing ground, and she's fitted with cheek pieces for the first time today.
So here comes the backing for Rudy Cottrell
Nearly 6 months
because it's moved to the front. So we've missed a trick there, but I'm going to lay it. I'm going to lay it at this low quote. They're assuming it's going to lead. So I'm getting in with a lay.
His name, he was runner up to Sláinte and Thanks at Tipperary.
And I think I'm going to look potentially to get £5 back bets in on Spanish Leather and Watango. Once they settle down, these will probably trade a bit higher. And my plan would be back both of these for £5 at a higher price. Then as they come down, look to trade out. This one should drift out. And I've got a potential lay of Cousin Pascal, because that wasn't really mentioned in the review. But since it's changed, Tony said it's been turned upside down now with the first two favourites out. Lady of the Sea and Cousin Pascal have decent form on this ground. He's just watching how I trade it. There's two favourites out has thrown him. Okay, so no opinion from Tone. That's fine. Just based on what I've read. So late, this Rudy Cottrell's going to lead. And I'll probably even lay it a bit lower if it comes down to 260 or such. See, I just find that ridiculous. Tony told us it was going to lead, and I just assumed that it was already factored into the price. But look at the ticks you could have got from that. So there's something that we've learned already, that if he can analyse something for us that's going to lead, then we can go and take a position. So whilst he's dropped, I'll go and show you where the others are, because I can see them, but you can't. I better just go and check my colours. So Watango's green and gold, Spanish Leather's in the dark. So Spanish Leather's sitting second here. And there's the other one. There is number, let me just go and check the numbers here. It'll be easier if I look on the other screen. Got plenty of time yet. 2 o'clock. I'm not even at the right course. Wexford, 2 o'clock. All right, so the one leading obviously is this Rudy Cottrell. So we think this is going to whip away way too quick, and the others aren't bothered at the moment. They're letting it track back. So this one here in the white, in the green, sitting right in the middle of the field is Watango. Spanish Leather is sort of running second with Cousin Pascal here. And the one that's next to it is this number 10, which is Handrotti, which is 100 to 1, so of no real consequence. So go back here. I would just now get my tick off set, check it set to 3 ticks, and I would just go and get some little scalps in here and just try and reduce this deficit while there's nothing much happening. They're still letting this leader get away. They're not too fussed about it at the moment. I'm getting a bit fussed about it myself, but I'm trusting the analysis and the jockeys at this stage, and the market seems fine. It's not panicking that it's going to win. It's gone a long way ahead, but we see that a lot. Here it goes now. I've missed a bit of an opportunity on Spanish Leather. I thought it might go up around here where I was going to get my fiver in, but it's never really changed from where it was. But this Watango might be worth. Let's go and get a couple of quid on Watango and a couple of quid on Spanish Leather. We'll just keep dipping in the tick offsets here on this one. Let's see if we want this to just keep gradually rising as the market closes down. They've more than halved the lead on it now. So go and cancel them and we'll start back up here again. So I'll just show you what's going on if you're not seeing it. They've halved the lead. These guys are still going really nicely. Nothing's even bothered. Starting to get a bit concerned about that green one. So I'm going to go and trade out of him. I already have done. I didn't realise I had my tick offset. I was going to go and trade out of this one, but I quite like this one here. So I'll leave them in without the tick offset on for now. But you can see that they're letting him jog ahead here. It's 3 miles. It's a long way. And although he's got 20 lengths, you see the pack aren't bothered to chase him yet. He's hit the top of that one, which won't help, but will help us. But you see here now, he's starting to come down. And now we'll see, there goes the money now, it's disappeared. So now they're starting to chase him and close. The market now thinks he's starting to paddle a little bit. Our guy's coming down nicely here. We're back up where we started. We're now into the green. They're going on the final circuit now, and they're starting to close on him. Market still can't decide. He keeps jumping between 230, 216, 260. But they're really closing in on him now, and the chasing pack's still not panicking. Look, they're not even attempting to run him down yet. They know he's going to get tired. And you can see from that angle, they're starting to close a little bit on him now. And then this pack here is a pack. Here they go. They'll start gunning him down. And our price now should start to rise. So there it goes up there now. So now he's only 5 in front. You can see now the gap's really starting to close. They're starting to catch him up. And I'd expect this price to really start rocketing up now. So 2 or 3 more tick offsets. And then we'll start to look at getting out. He's gone right back down, odds on now. But I still think they're going to catch him. They're still not bothered chasing him, and he's starting to push now this leader. But they're still not panicking. So the next time I get up in the green, if I do, I'm going to get out. They're still chasing him nicely. Look, he's starting to push him a bit now, this guy, and they're still cruising. They're going to run him down easily. I'm just going to go and get out here at 4.1 if I can. See if it just comes up to me here. They're just going past him now. Get out of the way, 650. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Gone. I'm going to go and this guy's no good. He's gone, but it doesn't matter. We've picked up 23 quid. Go and watch the rest of the race. There he is now, getting his guts punched out on the inside. And the green and gold one's just absolutely cruising outside of him. This third one's half a chance, but this one looks all over the leader. Rudy Cottrell now, as expected, has faded. But you still want to be out because even though he's well beat, if this guy had fallen at the last, Rudy Cottrell is still going to win. You know what I mean? So you got to take that money out of the market and not let them win. So that leader got caught in the last furlong a few days ago after leading all the way, and we could see quite a long way out there that it was going to get caught. So there, chalk one up for the analysis. We got plenty of trades done in there, loads of them. We started off laying at 315, 274, 222, 216, 222. We were doing the tick offsets all the way. It just stayed there, didn't it? 250, 280, back to 220, 220, 216, 260, 294, and then it started to come up as well. I got one in there at 190, did a lay at 1.9, and then it started to come up and just took the money out. Now, yeah, in hindsight, you can say I've given back £33 there. But I tell you, if that winner had fallen at the last, and you will see that numerous times throughout the year, this horse goes on to win and you end up with the loss. All right, so it's just a case of staying calm and not worrying about how far ahead the leader is. It's more a case of watching the horses behind it. And you would have heard in my commentary that I kept saying they're not bothered. They're not chasing him yet. They're not letting, they're not worried. Otherwise, you can see them start to lift the pace from behind if they think they have to catch him. But, excuse me. And so it's just a case of watching the pack behind and seeing if they're panicking. And they certainly weren't. They felt that they had him in their sights. But you've seen a good few examples there. Now, if you find something that you know is going to lead like that, we could have, just gone and put 100 or 200 pounds on it at the start of the race and then let it drop that 20, 30 ticks, and you've picked up 20 or 30 pound right there. The danger is, though, when I seem to do that, they just don't drop in price. They just seem to go straight back up. So I just assume, well, the market knows it's going to lead. If you know and I know, everyone else knows. So the market's not going to really change. But anyway, that's that. So thanks for that, Tone. That was good. So that was our race of the day via the analysis, and it sort of proved to be the case. The only disappointment for me was the Spanish leather didn't run as well as I expected. I'm not worried. I only did £2 on it. It was just a little trial. So that was no problem at all, just doing that and seeing how it panned out. So it's all good. Okay, let's go and have a look at air. So you've got two favourites here, and I think the easier thing to do is make a choice whether you want to play 1 against 4, or if you'd like to keep them both on side and play 5 against 6. So 5 and 6 are both drifting. I think we can do that. So I'm going to go and put the race on. With this race, I'll let you see the trading rather than the race. And then we'll go and do a couple without watching the race. I just want to have a quick look if I can. That's coming out of 5, 6, 7. So 7 and 3 I need to watch. So 3 is going to be Silvestris, and Tommy Tittlehouse is getting a bit worked up apparently. So it's coming out of 7 is this one, and the other one's just been backed. Let's have a look at this party game. So I'm watching barriers 3 and 7 here. 3's missed it, this 6 horse, but they're all started well. There's nothing in it. This one's getting pushed a little bit early. I think this is the one I want here. We'll go and see if we can just jump out up there for now. Get out there. I just want to see where our two favourites are. So Tommy's in the front, but he's not going great. I'm going to cancel that if I can. This guy's really starting to push now. The other one's going really nicely next to it. Now just see if this money here disappears for this guy, because he's pushing. He's gone. So where's the money going to disappear? It's still there. It should be gone now. And there it goes now. It's all disappeared and we're out. So I'll see if I can. This is him back here. And the other one I was watching is going to win. So there's our guy there. Okay. So let's go back. We'll stop that recording. Oh. I thought I was recording. It says start recording. Was I not recording that? I didn't record that. Okay, that's fine. I'll get the next one. I could have sworn I was recording that, but I wasn't. Okay. But anyway, I'll be able to explain what we're looking for. So yeah, that was just a case of doing either Silvestris or party game. He got hunted up. See if we can see the replay. See if they show the replay here. So here he is on the inside, number 3. So see, he's getting pushed straight out of the gate. So he's still getting pushed. This guy here's the winner, cruising. Now he's still getting pushed from behind. That's why I went in the first time. The price didn't really go up a lot. So I just stayed with it and then just tried to trade out of it and put my position in at 12. Now they didn't take it. So here's your, oh man. Anyway, if you're watching it on Racing UK, you can see the favourite there on the outside and the winner is just on the left. And there's our guy getting pushed really strongly just on the inside. He's really urging him along and the winner still hasn't moved a muscle. Now he's given him a slap, our guy, and I've cancelled my exit trade. Knew he was beat at this time because the 2 in front of him are still going really nicely. And then the winner's starting to get a wriggle on as well. And our guy's just going backwards. So maybe we'll just wait half an hour and go back and watch that race back. And I'll show you what I saw. But that was that anyway. All right, so we'll go and have a look at the next ones. We don't want that anymore. We don't need that. Let's go and have a look at the 2:15 race. 2:20 Newton Abbott. So that's going to be on this over here. 2:20.
Carlos Gade Zemili, 33 Bluebell Sally, 40-1 Exit Plan. Poetic Presence, the outsider, at
There we go.
80-1.
So go and have a look at what we've got in the market, 2:20. So this is just going to be a case of using the tick offset, and we're not even going to watch the race in this one. Just going to show you how to trade a tick offset race without even watching it. Now I'll leave it on in the background so we'll be able to hear it. Turn it up a little bit, but we don't even need to see it. So what I'm going to do is just show you, because most of the time when I do this type of trading, I'll go and hit record on this one when the race starts.
9-2, each of two now. Robin of Sherwood.
When I do this type of trading, I don't really need to look at anything other than where they are. So we might just look at that.
9-1, Robin de Broom. 20.
And then not even bother going back to it, because the market will tell us what we need to know. So what you do here is you can line up how they're going to look. Okay? So if we go and look at where they're lining up, we've got the favourite is Robin of Sherwood in the red with the white cap. So that's him on screen there, the threes. He's going to start at the back. Giga White is the one with the white band. There it is, just come on screen. Black with the white hoop across its chest. Cheltenham de Beige is the green and gold, the Aussie colours there. Bright gold with the green, you won't miss that. Facuto is black with the purple sleeves. So I'm not seeing them at the moment. Seems to be a horse walking around the back without a jockey on. C's Area is the red one with the black sleeves with the triangle. So that's in front there.
2 Robin of Sherwood, 5-1 Facuto.
Mrs. Miggins is
and Giga White.
number 1.
Caesaria, 7 Mrs. Miggins.
So it's got some. Yeah, that's
Robin de Broom,
that's Mrs. Miggins there at the front of the pack.
8-1 bar.
Green with the red is, I can't even pronounce that. Colours Catters Millie. So that's the one there, Cheltenham de Beige, without the jockey on it, the green and gold one. There's your favourite, the 3. So you just sort of learn the colours so you know where they're going to sit. And then we're just going to look for some gaps in the tick offset. Yeah, the Zoom recording is recording, John, but
has now been mounted.
I want to record on
starters on his rostrum, and the runners are coming out.
I want to record on Camtasia so we can go back and watch the race.
Cheltenham de Beige last.
Well, the screen that we're looking at is Betfair Video, Martin. So it can't be ahead of Betfair Video because this is Betfair Video. I'm on video.betfair.com. So it is 5 seconds ahead of Sky Racing though on channel 415. Yeah, well, an iPad, you're online. Sorry, it's, no, an iPad shouldn't matter. But for some reason, yeah, I've heard other people say the iPad's always behind. I don't know why they're behind. The desktop version and the iPad version are different. So, yeah, don't trade off an iPad, mate. You're going to be 5 seconds behind. Right, here we go. So this favourite sitting at the back here. The green and gold one sitting at the back as well.
Here we go.
All right. So let's go and have a look.
2-5.
So this one's sort of sitting at the back. So I'm going to get my tick offset and I'm just going to look for gaps.
Mrs.
There's a
Mickens
nice little
front
gap
rank with Poetic Presence,
over here.
Caesaria, Bluebell Sally, and
This
Exit
Sea
Plan,
Arias.
all vying for the early
That's great. We'll
advantage.
jump in down here as
Will
well.
clear the first fence safely. Fakuto is tracking the leading
You
rank.
just want a little gap where if your bet gets matched, you can get in straight away on the other side, if you know what I mean.
All out over it safely, including the back marker.
Like in here.
White, who was rather low.
There's a little gap over here on Giga White.
Sherwood, as Mrs. Miggins leads them out into the country.
Over here.
As the judge for the first time.
So I can hear the race, but I can't see the race.
Exit Plan in 2 shades of blue out wide of Poetic.
There's a little gap there.
Bluebell Sally between runners are all prominent. Then follows Cascade Zamili.
So it sounds like this Giga White's sitting right near the back, which is what we want.
Midfield.
I'm not sure. I'll have a listen to see where this Sea Arias is. There's a bit of money there, so it's possibly up near the front. This one, there's no money here. Look,
To jump fence number 3, Mrs. Miggins from Exit
this
Plan.
one's going well. You can see from the betting, they're backing it.
Relegating Caesaria to be third.
So Caesaria is third, we just heard.
Bluebell Sally,
We just heard that there. Caesaria is third. This one must be going well, this Cheltenham de Vere. Backing it. Favourite's not really moved a lot in price. No money for this horse now, this Caesaria. So I think this is the one to stick with. See, this isn't coming up to me, so I can just go and get out of it and come back to it later. So I'm out of that. Now I just focus on this one with my gaps. If it doesn't do what you want, get out. See, there's no money here.
As they come to jump the first of the open ditches. Fence number 6, we'll see Mrs. Miggins.
I forgot to hit record, so I'll do it now.
From Exit Plan. They're all
There's no money here for this one.
Was not especially
We'll stick on this for now. Go and get rid of these others.
Towards the fence on the side, the spread fence, number 7.
Let's see if we can nip in
Exit Plan.
maybe here at 8.6, 9.6 there.
In 4th. Followed over by Bluebell Sally, Fakuto, Poetic Presence drifting back.
So this one's still going quite well.
Broom and Cheltenham Vevage, and then
it sounds like it's at the back, but the market's still loving it.
As they reach the end of the first circuit.
The market's still loving it. See this one here, this Giga White, even though it's at the back, it's just not coming up for me. So I know it's near the rear somewhere, but the market's still liking it. So I'm going to try another one here.
Then Bluebell Sally.
I guess it's dropping because this favourite looks to be in real trouble.
Over fence number 9, which will be the last in the
So I'm going to turn this tick offset off.
Well grouped. Robin of Sherwood's not travelling at the rear.
Yeah, Robin of Sherwood. See, told me before the commentator did.
Mrs. Miggins leads them past.
I'm going to get in one there at 23.
Front to back.
It's a bit higher than I like, so I'm going to jump back out of that. That was a bit high for me.
Around the outside.
And so now we turn the tick offset off and we just start closing all the positions. This one's going well. Cancel them.
Being pushed along quite
trade out of that.
And
we're still waiting for this
last, but well in touch.
Giga White.
Heading on to fence number 10.
So he must be going all right, but not doing anything too spectacular. So I'll get in there.
And Poetic Presence out wide.
This one's coming up. The money's disappearing for this one, so we should be out of this in a minute. Here we go. We're the only money there now.
Headway under Paddy Brennan as they head off down the back straight.
Here it comes. We'll probably get one more in here.
Still out in front of Caesaria. Poetic Presence is a close third.
There's no money to back it though. So we're all out of this one, just about all out of this one. Then I've only got one more to focus on. Right, so that's gone. Let's get out of that.
At the middle fence down the back, number 12.
And then out of here. Well, this favourite's gone, so we can get rid of him, and we're all out of that now as well. Here it comes, getting matched.
On the outside of Fakuto,
getting matched, no money there for it.
Leaders jump the final open ditch.
Final open ditch, so we want to get out now. There we go.
And Cheltenham
we are out.
Moving into second as they lead the back straight behind.
Okay, so they're leaving the back straight behind, and let's go and see where they all are.
From the rear, over
so there's Gigabit. That's the one that was at the back, and that's why.
4 lengths to Giga White, closing in third. Poetic Presence is next, but beaten. The others are all.
That's that Giga White going well. Looks like it might win the race, and that's why it kept coming down. Look at him cruising. He's got those other two shot to bits. He'll be like 105. Yeah, 126. There's one fell. Now, this one looks like it's going to win, but you can't lay this one. Do not lay the yellow one, because if this thing falls, the yellow one wins. And he might still win, and he does. We're going to go and quickly check what price this traded because it's going to be quite high. But they're the two that the market loved, Cheltenham de Vage and Giga White. But Giga White would have traded pretty low. Let's go and have a quick look. Newton Abbott. Go and have a look at Giga White here. It traded at 107. So I've just stopped recording there, and I'll come back to that in a minute. So let's go and do a quick screen swap and look at this. So Giga White there has traded 107 when it was absolutely cruising. And then the favourite, the winner, traded a high of 46 when it looked like they were cruising. So £22 done at 42 and £4 at 46. So we could see from the betting that the market liked Cheltenham de Vage and Giga White. You know how they just wouldn't go up? They weren't doing what I wanted them to do. So that told me the market likes them. They must be travelling well. And I didn't even need to see the race to know that. The commentator told me that Robin of Sherwood was beat like was gone, struggling. But I mentioned it to you about 10 or 15 seconds before he did. So sometimes just listening is not always the best. What you can see from the prices gives you a better indication. And Colin says, your voice is 3 seconds ahead of my PC though, Tony. Derek, what do you mean by gap? All right, let's go and show Derek what we mean by gap. This time we're going to have a look at in running and the 3-tick offset tool to show you what I'm looking for. So go and set the tool, activate it, and now any bet you place, it will offset with 3 ticks. Looking for gaps, you see there's no money there between 11.5 and 9.2. Right, this time we're going to have a look at. So let's go back and see where we just were. I'll just start it again and I'll get ready to pause it. We're going to have a look at in running and the 3-tick offset tool to show you what I'm looking for. So go and set the tool, activate it, and now any bet you place, it will offset with 3 ticks. Looking for gaps, you see there's. Right, Derek, what I'm looking for is gaps. So let's have a look at this third horse, Randy Pike. Okay. Market's coming down. Plenty of money to back the horse. Definitely don't want to be laying that one. See how mine's been backed, but now it's bouncing back up and there's no money to back it between 9.2 and 11. Okay. Whereas over here, you could do another little one. I could also, if I wanted to, go and lay 7.4 because with my 3 ticks, if that's matched, my bet's going to get put in at 8 and I'm in front of everything else. But over here, I wouldn't do it because there's money filling these boxes. So I'm looking for, that's what I definitely don't want to see. That's what I do want to see. Just excuse me for 1 second, please. I was just wondering what was going on outside. That's the neighbour's kid riding her bike, screaming at the top of her voice. You probably can't even hear it, but I can, so I'll just carry on regardless. So, Derek, does that explain what I'm looking for when I say I'm just looking for gaps here? Now, if this bet here on this favourite had been, say, £10 or £20, that would be ideal because I would go click, click. I'd take both the £20 bets or both the £10 bets to give me a mat of 20 and then they'd offset at 8.5 and there's no money there. So that puts me in the front of the queue at the back. So can you just acknowledge that you're hearing me, Derek, and that you know what I'm saying so I can move on? So I need you to come back to me. If you ask me something and you got to come back. Yep, cool. Okay. Right, so that's what I'm looking at. So what I'll do, Derek, is I will give you this link. I'll stick it right there and you can go and watch that one after the webinar. And I'll go and give you a couple more as well while we're here, because there's a few of them that I've done. There's this 4-tick offset one. Let's go and have a quick look at that, see how that starts. Right, there's no sound on this one. So this is just it in action, Derek. So just watch this. You see there's very little money there to back the horse compared to this one over here. There's no money in there. So I'm just dipping in and out those gaps. Now it's gone a bit higher. So you can see which one I'm looking at, this Real Milan. So he's there in third. Okay. Or in fourth now. He's in fourth spot. But you see the price just going up. Look at the money just disappearing on him. Nothing to back him on that ladder at all. Not a penny anywhere. So now I'll give him up. He's at 38. So I don't want to trade him anymore. I could do. If you've got a huge bank and you're willing to keep going, there's no reason why you can't. But I'm just going to pause it there for a minute, right? The reason I don't is you just saw me trading that horse at around 8 or 9, okay? And it was in fourth position. It's still in fifth position now, and yet it's trading at 38. So hardly anything's changed over here. And yet I don't mind taking a risk at 8 when it's sitting there, but I'm not going to risk it at 38 when it's only really a metre behind where it was before. And that's the great thing about in running. Like you can see clearly here, it's definitely a lay, but down at 8, my liability is only £70. Up here, it's 260, and up here, it's 370. So for the couple of quid you make on each tick offset, you don't want to be risking 370 quid. So you've always got in the back of your head what can go wrong. If Betfair crashes, if I lose my internet, if my computer fails, I'm left holding the bag for that if it wins. Obviously, a lot's got to go wrong, but it's just always in the back of your head, so you don't need to expose yourself. What you'll probably see me do, this is a couple of years old now, so I really don't know what happens. But if I just trade this the way I normally do, what you'll see now is I'll stop trading this horse and I'll go and look for something else. Or if they're too late in the race, I will just even this up and go from there. So I honestly don't know what happens. Let's go and have a look, see what I do. So my mouse is still on that one. Oh, that lower bet just got matched, so now I can come back to it. So just going to go back a little bit there because what I said before just happened. I'll just pause it when it happens. Let me just go back here. Right. So remember I said before, if this money here was a bit lower, I'd lay it. I'm still going to do it here. And why for me this is a great trade is there's no money between 11 and 21 that isn't mine. So if I just go click, click, click here at 11, this offset is going to go in at 12.5 or 13 if I'm using a 4-tick offset. I think because it's called 4-tick offset, it's probably going to go in at 13. But as soon as that money disappears, I'm at the front of the queue. So it was, look at the picture here. The horse is exactly where it was after this jump. Same spot, yet it's gone from 38 to 11. That's why I love in-running trading, and that's why I think this is far easier than trading, scalping pre-race or stuff. Nothing's changed in this race. They're all in exactly the same position, but look at this volatility here. This is what we want. So I'm going to go in here a couple of times, and it'll go up. Here we go. And there we go. So I don't think I even got them matched. But if they come down, so I'm going to cancel that one on the other one because he went up to 44. I might go and look at this third one over here. I don't know. No, I'm just hedging out of this. I'm going back in at the lower price of 15. Okay, so now I'm back in my zone again. And nothing's changed. The horse is still running in fourth spot. It's just exactly where it was. And now it's gone back up to 30. So that looks like the end of it. So there we've made cancel anything that's left. It's still in 4 spot. You can see it's struggling. So I could have gone and put another lay in and got out a bit higher. But you can see all the trades there we've done started at 9.4 and then all the way up the top. Oh, let's go and have a quick look at that again. I'll go back to, I think I must have started at the top and scrolled down. Right. So you can see here, almost the very last trade I've done, the last lay was at 11. Okay. And look at all these trades I do. And the very bottom one is 9.4, which is only like 6 ticks below. Look at them all. And so the price hasn't really moved at all. But you've got that opportunity over 3 miles. See it there at 9.4. So that's 5 ticks below the 11.4. So there's quite a few in there. There's a few in the in-running guide and stuff. I'll see if I got one more for you. Then we'll go back to some live stuff. These are the things I look for during an event. I'm looking at the prices of the 2 favourites against the one I'm trading. So it's 5.7. Now, the reason this one's dropping down is purely because it's leading. I also look at the money to back the horse. So there's a bit more on that favourite than there was on the one I'm doing. I also look at my stop loss figure. I don't really want that to go above £20, but if it needs to, I can let it go to 50 before I'll just have to cut out. Try and keep all the main runners in there, but you see the money starting to disappear on this one now because the other 2 are clearly travelling really well behind it, and now the market's starting to pick that up, that even though my one's leading, the other 2 are just stalking it, and at this point with such a long way to go, not making any effort to go past it. So even though I'm in a losing trade because it's leading, I can just keep doing some tick offsets because they're just stalking it and reducing that lead. That deficit. So you see, each time I do one of these, it comes down. Checking the price again, 260, 240, and mine's at 8. So the market thinks I'm in no danger here of getting beaten. They've now gone past mine, and you see it quickly blows out to 12 and higher, even though a lot of the slower traders bring it back down to 4 or 5. But now it's gone, so I traded out of it now. Phlegmatic's gone past it. Main Fact's gone past it, so we're good to go. So even though it's coming right back down there, it traded back at 2.6 because the Phlegmatic has dropped off the track. I'll get it up and show you the rest. I've finished trading now, but I'll show you what I was looking at. So you'll see here that Phlegmatic's dropped off, and now it's Main Fact on the far right, the horse I was trading second, and the one that was doing really well is now dropped off to third. But I was out well before they got to the third last year. So that's the sort of thing I'm looking for during the race, to keep an eye on all those different factors. Okay, so is that cool, Derek? Is that like now crystal clear what we're trying to do? We'll go and have a look at a couple more races and see what we've got. 240 race. We've got one coming up at Ayr by the looks of things. We'll go and have a look over here. What's going on at Ayr? So you've got Connor Beasley, Megan Nichols, Alistair Rollinson, Danny Tudhope, Phil Dennis, David Allen, Clifford Lee, Josephine Gordon. They're all decent jockeys, nothing outstanding there, but any of them can win on any given day. See, it looks like this Zim Baby's been backed pretty heavily. So we'll go and have a quick look at the graphs while we can. I'll go and show you them. This Zim Baby has been backed fairly solid. We'll go and look at the others. The favourite, Drifting. Devil's Angel, drifting a bit. Zim Baby, as we know, well backed. Dick Datchery, drifting. Okay, so all the money seems to be for that one horse. So we'll go and have a look. They're just going behind, so there's no sort of rush here at the moment. You see the ranges here on the left-hand side. This one's at the top of its range. This one's at the top. This is the one they're really backing. I'm going to go and lay it right at the bottom of its range here and see if we can pick up a tick. Maybe 2. I've got 900 there, 800 below me. So there's 1,700 that the market would have to get through before I really start losing. So hopefully now the race is overdue. So most of the punters now have stopped. A lot of the trading bots have stopped. It's just a case now of getting in a couple of lays. I shouldn't have put that second lay in, second back bet in. I do that sometimes. I assume that my lay is going to get taken. So you should wait for this to start getting matched before you go and put in the next one. Because otherwise you can get your back bet matched. It shoots up and away you go. So I'll just go and see if we can get that £4. So that's just £4 pre-race for nothing while you're waiting for them to load. They're all starting to go in. So I think I'll just bin this one. I'll just take the £4 pre-race, go and get the race on, have a listen, see what's going on. I'll go and get the race up for you if we're going to come back to it. So air. Oh, you got to have a minimum bet. How can it say I haven't had, Monmore. Why is it at Monmore? Monmore Greyhounds.
A lot of years back now,
Let me turn that
and a lot
down.
of winning form since then at Wolverhampton and Chelmsford.
Yeah, that's the problem. 21 runs on turf, just one win, and that was £3.
Right. At least we've worked out now how to make it full screen. Right, here we go.
Almost set there, and I think there's just a couple.
I'm going to keep this one on side. Just see what happens.
As we go back up to Darren in the commentary box.
Thanks, Bruni. So, Zimbaby is to go into stall number 2.
So this favourite's coming out at 2.
Magellan went to post really slowly. They're all in. And they're off for the Jordan.
So that John Kirkup began okay. It's going to lead.
Zimbaby began well. And
Devil's Angel sitting at the back pushing away. So I'm going to get a couple in on that. He's pushing quite hard on that early on.
Tommy G back in mid.
See if we can get him up here to 9.
Angel. These are being chased by Chuki Dunedin. Sapahi is
I'll try and get out at 9.2 there.
So it is Zimbaby and Tricky.
He's still pushing him hard, this guy. He should come straight up to us. He's still pushing him. So I'll just let it come up. He's not happy at all. I just got an exit there at 20. He's still pushing him, and the leaders are cruising.
Trying to get into the race, Chuki Dunedin, purple jacket, and Sapahi's the back.
So there he is back there in the orange. Look, he's well gone. Never happy in the going. He's going to finish last or second last. This Zimbaby, the money.
John Kirkup putting it to Zimbaby, never in Paris is about
Got him.
half lengths further back, followed by Chuki Dunedin. Inside the final 100 yards, John Kirkup is in front of Zimbaby. Never in Paris continues to progress, but closer it's John Kirkup doing it up. John Kirkup, the winner. Second place, Never in Paris, Zimbaby. Third, and then Chuki Dunedin.
Okay, so we got a good trade out of that one. We did the pre-race stuff, and then I laid Devil's Angel at 8.20 and then 7.60. And again, I went to get out of it, and because there's no on-track traders, the price didn't come up to me. So I had another look, and I said, well, this thing's struggling even more. It's going to come flying out in a minute. So it seems that I'm 6 or 7 seconds ahead most of the in-running traders that are laying, because as I've said to you before, most of them are looking for the winner. So they're all busy backing Zimbaby and John Kirkup, pushing the price down for us, which helps us. Thanks very much. There's not too many people that are noticing Devil's Angels beat and wanting to lay it and drive the price up. That just happens when the bots eventually kick in. As the backers get their horses down, the bots bring ours up to us. So there's very, very obviously a lot more backers in the markets than layers. And since lockdown has racing's come back, you've probably noticed that it's taking a lot longer for prices to come up to us. And it's burnt a few of us on a few occasions where we know the horses beat, and you're normally looking for a nice 5 to 8 second window for that price to pop up and take you and you're out. But now it's taking 12 to 15 seconds. And in that time, they can come back and trade right low and sometimes even go on to win. What are you saying there, Mike? You will be. You are good. What's that? I don't know what you mean. What
There's
did
a
I say?
race off now, Tommy, at Newton Abbott.
Oh, off at Newton Abbott, Ollie. All right, thanks. Right, we got one off at Newton Abbott, so let's go and have a look. We got another one here. So we'll go and do another no-looker, all right? We're just going to go purely off the market and we'll see what's happening. I'll go and get it up so you can have a listen, but we don't want to be seeing it. Right, there we go. So let's go back here. We're just looking for gaps. So there's nothing really there at the moment. Not much money on Bhutan here. So maybe a little one there. We'll just have a listen, see where it is. There's a little gap there, look.
And Bootlegger, a length in front of Teaser. The back marker remains Doubly Clever. They're inside the last 2 miles and heading on to
so Doubly Clever, the favourite, is the back marker, but there's still money to back it, so it's obviously going well. Here's the gaps here, look, on this one. So see if we can get a few in on this.
The next two. Then follows
it's 2 miles 5, so it's a pretty long race.
Doubly Royal as they clear the fourth at its own expense, landing over a length.
So just wait now for them to get matched before we get in any deeper.
On the outside of J-Track Park Homes, Parody close up out wide, then Midnight
You can get carried away with these and start pumping 5 or 6 in and find you've got a grand liability. Even though you can see the market just doesn't like it at all. I'm not going to go above 20. It'll come back down to me. And if not, I'll just come and look for something else.
It's at its own expense under Richard Johnson, who's made all to this.
So my guy's leading.
In the McManus hoops on the outside.
He's just said under Richard. Did he say under Richard Johnson? Is Richard Johnson still riding? Surely he retired, didn't he?
Between them and a half length back are both.
I thought he retired.
Bootlegger. Teaser is right behind them on the inside. The back marker remains.
No, he's riding it.
As they prepare to rise at flight
okay.
5 at its own expense.
You've got to be careful then if Richard Johnson's riding it. I thought, did he not retire?
Then follows Parody out wide from Midnight Sapphire.
Oh, seconds ahead of everyone else, Mike. Yeah, that's what you were meaning. Okay. Yeah, I obviously been doing this for so long. I can spot stuff before a lot of people.
Leads up past the judge.
Now, this is good for me because, see, this favourite, even though he's last, is coming down in price nicely, which pushes everything else up. And you understand why, because of percentages and the such, right? So even though my guy's leading, there's no money for him whatsoever. But see that £4, I would get in there at 19 and just let the market come down to me. See now it comes down?
So they're on the side of the race.
Come on, take a little bit of it. This favourite stopped coming down. So even though you're watching for these gaps, guys, you've got to keep watching these other things. So you can see, no matter where the horse is in the race, the market likes this one, it likes this one, and it's holding its opinion on these two. And it certainly doesn't like mine. There's a little gap over there on Bhutan.
At its own expense.
So now mine's gone a bit high. I can put one more in. Oh, we just got matched. Lovely.
Park Homes. Parody on the wide outside.
And this one started to drift up now.
Then follows Percy Street. Doubly Clever's been taken to the wide outside.
So Doubly Clever, here he comes now, this guy. I'm going to cancel that. Turn off the tick offset.
Has been relegated to last.
I'm going to do one more at 20 here if I can get it. I might not get it.
The field to join in together with
am I going to get it?
Bhutan has lost its position, dropping back into about.
Oh, I got it. Nice.
Exit the back. Percy Street is on the move.
Right, I'll jump out there at 48.
Sapphire, then Bhutan, who's
might be a bit high. No, I got it.
Her position as well, and then
no idea where they are.
Now brings up
job done. Let's go and have a look.
Clever to go to the front off the home turn, heading J-Track Park Homes.
There's your favourite now coming to the lead. Look.
Percy Street, however, is being brought into its.
And you got this Percy Street
on the outside
in the purple. Looks like it's going all right. Big price. Shouldn't beat the favourite, but he's given him a race.
It's Doubly Clever from Percy Street.
This favourite's just timed it nice.
Challenge at the final flight.
Nah, Percy just hit the fence.
Landed too clear and landed running and will win going away for Luca Morgan. Doubly Clever beat Percy Street into second. The always handy Midnight Sapphire ran third.
All right. So have you got any questions on that one? We've just traded that one 17 and a half out at 18 and a half, 17 out at 18 and a half, 17, 18, 18, 19, 20. And that was it really. We've just nicked. We did one on Bhutan, 13 and a half out at 15. And that was it. So I find them a lot easier than, just looking for those little gaps in running. You're trying to pay attention to a few things at once. It is difficult. It is an acquired skill. So what you're trying to pay attention to is how far in the race they are. You'll often hear the commentator get a bit more animated in the second half, but you also listen for words like, and as they leave the back straight, you think, oh, there's a signal, right, get out. Because now you've got the side of the course and then the straight to get out. So you like hearing that. It's just a signal. Turn the tick offset off now. Look for one last trade if you want to do one, and then leave the straight alone. So definitely words you're looking for there, and they leave the back straight, which I heard there. You're listening for signals from the commentator like we got in the last race, that favourite. He's really struggling and pushed along at the back. You think, right, well, he's in real trouble. But usually if you're good at what you do, you'll pick up most of those signals before the commentator says them. Yeah. So we'll do one more. We'll go and have a look at something, and I won't trade it so much. I'll just talk you through it. But just we got 2.5 minutes to the race here, so I'm just going to go on pause, and I just really need to nip to the bathroom, and then I'll come back and trade this one and just show you what I'm looking for, and then we'll finish up, go back and have a look at that recording that I made. All right, so back in a sec. All right, we're back. So just a couple of other little tips before we move on, just things for your general knowledge, is the smaller the field, the less the gaps. So see, this is a much smaller field than that last race, okay? So the gaps won't really be there. So what you can do is either just do it manually, look for some more swing trades, or you can just go and maybe turn it down to 1 or 2 ticks and just look for smaller gaps. But what we're going to do in this race, I'm not going to trade it so much. We're just going to watch the price movements, because you might be, or I'll do some 1-tick trades on a horse, but I want to point out to you what I'm looking at also. So as I just said in that race, if I end up trading this one here, I'm not just watching this ladder. I'm watching all the other ladders, and I can go, oh, look, they're backing this one. Any backing that you see is great for you, particularly on the favourite. So they've just jumped, all right? So you see, you can go and put in like this thing here is going to lead. You just put in like little 1-tickers in a small field, right? A lot easier to get than the 3. But you see this thing drifting here. This thing's getting back. Favourite hasn't really moved. So let's see where the favourite is. He's sitting second. So you've got 7 and 1 leading, and then Monkshead is third. So any of these are all behind the 3 favourites. So if you're trading any of these 3 over here, guys, you've got all 3 favourites on your side, and they're in front of you. I probably don't really want that one at 29, although I am just doing 1 tick. It's all right. But any of these are safe at the moment. There's no way they're going to crash in price when you've got 3 favourites in front of you. Now, the downside is, obviously, right, one could fall, and that can happen. So I'm just trying to do a few 1-tickers on this horse here to try and get this average price back to 0 so I can just get out of it. Shouldn't drop too much from where it is, but we'll just see. And if it pops up, I'm quite happy to jump out of it again. But the favourite's just stalking him at the moment. But see, it's not coming up to me, so I'll just get out of it. Just trade out of him and go somewhere else. We don't need to hang around with that if they're backing it. But just see they're backing this one here, so other stuff will be coming up. There's not so many gaps. So you've seen the point that I was making there. Because the reason is should be obvious, but I'll explain to you. Let's say hypothetically you've got 100 traders and there's 20 horses in a race. Well, potentially you could have 2 traders per horse, right? But, well, no, if you've got 100 traders and you've got 20 horses, you've got 5 traders per horse. But now you've got 100 traders and let's say you've got 5 horses in the race. Well, now you've got 20 traders per horse. So the average number of traders per horse is missing. So this favourite here, I'm going to turn this tick offset off and put one in on this favourite. He's starting to struggle quite badly. If I can get him at 6, I'll be happy. See if I can get him at 6. And now the reason that this Monk's Head's dropped is because our favourite has sort of drifted a bit. He's still getting pushed along this fave. So I think I want to try and get out of this Monk's Head as well in a sec. Just because he's running second, and if this favourite was to fall, well, not the favourite, the leader, sorry. If this leader was to fall, then I'd be in a bit of trouble. So I just want to cancel that up there. They just won't come up to me. There we go. Now we're okay. So let's go and have a look what's happening over here. I'll show you where we are. Where are we? We're at Wexford at 3 o'clock. I'll just show you what's going on.
They go.
All right, and we'll make
There's
this
over
big.
3/4 of a mile of the race left.
We'll make
Four
this big.
fences
Right,
to
so I've
jump
got to
and
start
yet
looking
be
to get
headed
out in a
right
minute.
back.
But there's your favourite. They're pushing along in second. See, he's getting pushed. Monk's Head's about to go past him, and this leader's cruising. We better go and see where we are and jump out of it. Oh, come on, computer. All right, so he's gone up here. He's right up here at 55, so we'll get out of that. He's gone back to fourth spot now, this guy. Now he's really pushing, so I'm going to see if I can lay him again at 9, if they're that stupid to give me 9. There we go. We got it. And we'll say now we can jump out at 21. Job done. All right, so we're all out of that. Let's go back and watch him finish. So here's your favourite back here, getting his ears scrubbed off in third. The only way he wins the race is if both of these two fall. That long-time leader looks like he's going to get beat by Yellow Cap here, but he could fight back. You don't want to be involved at this stage because if they both fall, the favourite wins, even though he's trading 100 to 1.
Castellos, Sforza, and Monk's Hood, but it's Peaches and Cream gaining the upper hand to the final fence. It's Peaches and Cream and stood off with a good jump. Rodda by second, well clear of Castellos, Sforza, and up to the finish. It is Peaches and Cream going to provide Gavin Crumman with his second winner of the.
Now that didn't pan out at all because I said I wasn't going to trade it, and I've ended up doing about 40 trades on it. I just wanted to watch the prices, but it's hard not to just go into automatic and do what you do. So we did some one tick offsets there, and you see that you can still end up with the same sort of result once you turn it off and just do your final trade. But Mike, the reason the jockey bounces on the horse is because it's really going badly. If you see that in that replay there, that number 1 bouncing up and down in the saddle, if a horse is going well, it's pulling the jockey along. So he's standing up in the irons with a grip on the reins, and that's what's keeping him up. Once the horse's head just goes, well, I'm knackered, the reins drop and the jockey just falls to earth. There's no tension on the reins anymore. He's given the horse full rein, and he's like, come on. And at that stage, imagine like being a water ski. You're being water skied, Mike. Sorry, imagine that you're water skiing, the boat's pulling you along. That's what it's like for a jockey, and the reins are tight and the horse is straining against him to pull him along because he wants to go faster. What happens to the water skier when that rope goes slack? He just falls, right? Boom. Same thing on a jockey. When he's got tension on the reins and he can stand up in the irons because he's got a good tight grip, he's fine. But as soon as that grip goes limp because the horse's head just goes, no, I ain't doing this anymore, the jockey just falls to earth and starts bouncing up and down. Does that make sense? Now, definitely a sign to lay, definitely, yeah. So I think I've got a good video to show you here before we go of that exact thing happening. So let's go and have a look at this one. I think it's just called Trust Your Eyes. So let's go and find that. It's not too far back. Just keep your eye on this horse right at the back, Holy Roman Empress. You can see clearly there coming into the straight, it's last and it's already getting pushed along. Jockey's bouncing up and down. He's making no impact on the field whatsoever. He's just last the whole way and he stays last after he comes into the straight. He was the third favourite. The others are a mile in front. You're looking at like 20 lengths there. But sometimes the market just won't let go of a horse and you're better off going with what your eyes are seeing than always listening to what the market says. Because if you have a look at the prices I got on this horse, they gave me 10.79, 10.50, 11 and 12.50 and then made an easy exit at 430. Clearly I didn't need to exit, but I always try and do it out of a habit anyway. And they just kept wanting to think the horse was going to come through. But as you saw from the video, it was never a chance of getting anywhere close to winning that race. So that's just simply because it was an Aidan O'Brien horse and the market wanted to fall in love with it and there were no on-track traders. It just, the market just, they weren't interested in laying it. So the bots just kept backing it. And so that was just money for us. So I'm going to leave it there with you for the afternoon. Actually, no, we're going to go and look at this, aren't we? Let's go and see if I can show you this. I don't know how this will work. Let me try. It's added it to a project that I was already doing. Okay. So this is the race that we just watched. And at least I can pause it and show you. So you guys can see that clearly. That's all right. If I make it a bit smaller, it might make it a bit clearer for you. Yeah, that's good. So you see here, this gap, that's the sort of thing on that C's area. There's no money to back it like that. So that's the sort of thing. Whereas look at the one that ended up winning the race, Cheltenham DeVay, look at the money there. There's no way you can tick offset that horse. And the horse that came second in the race was this one here, no gaps. And these two were last and second last. So the ones I'm trading, there was, I'm in here at 9.6 and there's only £14 plus £16 in front of me. So if we just let that play on a bit, you're seeing that gap there. So go in again at 12.5 and a bit of money comes in to back it. They're still backing this Cheltenham. Now, if you see this, it's great for us because it means, like here, the others are going to push up. So I'll often just trade two horses, and when there's a bit of money here and I'm waiting for mine to come back up, I can just go and trade something else. I'm just looking for the gaps. So, there's a gap, there's a gap, there's a gap, here's a gap. So now there's a gap here. I might come back over to this one. So we could see it's coming down. Now, see, this is coming down. So I think, I'll give it another couple down low, but if it keeps coming down, I'll just trade out of it. Now, the reason they're all coming down is this favourite here has gone from 11 out to 25, which is one we end up laying. But there's a nice gap in there that I've seen. Look, 9, and I should get straight in at 9.6 if I'm matched. So that's where I've laid that favourite. And I thought, no, that's a bit high. I shouldn't be laying above 20. So I go and trade straight back out of it. That was just a bit of a pricing error from me. Now, I don't expect you guys to be this busy. You're looking at like 12 years experience here of doing this. I just want you guys to start off with one horse. And then when you're comfortable and you see another gap like this, you go, okay, well, I'll do 2 horses now. I don't want you to trade 4 or 5 like I'm doing here. This is just to sort of show you what can be done. And see, there's no money over here on this one, so it should pop up and take us in a minute. This one's still coming down. I think I end up taking a loss on this one, don't I? Because it just doesn't come up to us and the horse is going well. One of them I did that. So now the market's come back up over here on this leader, or the horse that was second. So we trade out of that one, and now it's just this one to deal with, this Giga White. Oh, I cancelled the favourite because he went to 1,000. So here we are getting matched. Finally. No money there, and then it takes us. And then we hedge it out. And that should be that. And then there you go. We've got 20 quid on all of them. So that's sort of what, we can record some of this stuff and watch it back if you want to. You can see all the trades there on the left. It's not a general rule, Ollie. If the favourite's leading, then lay the 3rd or 4th favourite. But the great thing is, if you've got a favourite that's leading, it always helps because the price is just going to keep coming down. And that means any other horse that you lay. So here we go, Mike. Look, it doesn't always work this way because if you watch this yellow horse here, he's the one that wins the race. And this is why you don't want to be in at the end. So watch this guy in yellow bouncing up and down compared to the guy in black who's absolutely cruising, but he still wins the race. So just watch the jockey action of this guy. There he goes. There's nothing left in the tank. And look, see the black and white guy still standing up, Mike. And at this point here, this guy here went to 42. And this guy here traded 107. Because right now, this guy has these two shot to bits. He's bouncing up and down. I'll just show you that again. So as they come around the turn from behind, look at his action, bouncing up and down, and this guy is still standing up in the stirrups. That's what I was trying to explain. So just watch it again without me talking. So that's an easy decision there. And everyone was doing the same thing. But sometimes the horse doesn't find a whole lot. Now he's going, he looks 107 now, but this grey thing doesn't really find a lot. And the jockey's able to get a bit more out of that yellow one and go on and win the race. And that's why you don't really want to be in at the end, because it looked beat and it was beat. And if you laid that yellow one and you didn't exit up at, 30 or 40, then you can lose races. So that's what we spoke about yesterday, not setting your exit too high. It's like, okay, I just showed you one where I exited at 400, but you saw the horse was 20, 25 lengths last and the jockey was bouncing up and down, and that was in the straight. It was 1,000,000 to 1, but I got out anyway. But in that race, you could see as they come around, our guy was bouncing up and down, the black and white one absolutely cruising. And that's why I went to 107, but they can still get beat. So just always trade out. It's just a great habit to get in. Don't even think about how much money you've left or given up. A win is a win. It doesn't matter, because if you don't do it, it will come back to bite you. Okay, I'm going to go and have a little snack and have a little rest. And I'll be back tomorrow with 100 Club in the morning. And then we've got the general racing webinar for everybody tomorrow afternoon, where I'll go through some of the stuff again for you today. So I hope you guys are enjoying 100 Club and feeling that you're getting something out of it. And we're doing stuff most days and just getting all these little lessons. Now, I'm going to need your help. There was something I've remembered. Let's go back to lesson 1. Is Neil still with us or is he gone? He's gone. He'll have to watch it later. There was something important that I wanted to tell you in the cricket. And, I said make a note. What that was, and let's see how many of you remember me saying it. I mentioned in Cricket Week that wickets often fall after a break, either a drinks break, a lunch break, any sort of break. So what had happened is Pakistan made it to the first drinks break without a wicket. And then they came back, and within a couple of overs, I think it was either the first or the second over, they lost a wicket. And that's something as a trader you can expect. You will see it all the time. So one of the notes to put yourself at above for a cricket match is beware of wicket after a break. Also, if you're looking to lay the batting side, it's a good time to put in a bit of an extra lay just after a break, because it's quite likely that they're going to lose a wicket. It just seems to make the batsmen relax and come out of their zone, and it takes them a couple of overs to get back into it. And you very, very often lose wickets after a break in cricket. It's something we did highlight in Cricket Week. So that's what happened today with England. So I'm going to go and watch a bit of cricket, have a bit of a chill. And yeah, Craig, it is a bit like before and after halftime in football and NRL as well. It's got a huge NRL game coming up for you on Friday morning. We've got Broncos versus Souths, which I'm really interested in because the Broncos coach, Wayne Bennett, is now the Souths coach, and the Souths coach is now the under massive pressure Broncos coach. And these boys do not like each other. Bennett has really been giving it, reckons that Seibold knifed him in the back and really gave him, pushed him out of the Broncos. And now they are in disarray. They've lost one of their big front rowers, and it looks like another one wants to leave the club today. He's been ringing the Roosters and other clubs trying to get a gig there. So you got a race about to start at Newton Stewart. Go and enjoy that, and I will catch you guys tomorrow morning. All right, thanks for your company. Bye for now.